Hi everyone, this is Shawn Hansen and it is Make It Monday. This time I want to create one of my favorite kids printables, what I call arithmepics. What these do is they use images that are assigned numbers to create fun math problems for kids to enjoy. So this is the finished product along with the answer key. And I wanted to show you this before we dig in, and you can follow along by watching on the left as we rebuild what you see here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new slide. I've already laid this out as 8.5 by 11, and I put in some guidelines. You can, of course, create this in any size that fits the needs of your audience. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my title. And I want to use a fun font for this, but before I get to that, I'm going to put in the last part here. And for the arithma part, I'm going to use this Fidoka 1 font. This is a free Google font. You can use it commercially. And then for the pick, I'm going to use this wonderful Christmas font, which I told you about and I got from Creative Fabrica. And actually, I don't want it all in caps. So the next thing I want to do is I just want to bump this up and make it fairly large. Then just position it at the top. I'll drag this over and bump up this size some. And then I just want to line them up and do a little housekeeping over here. And then I'm going to group these and call this title. And then I want to go ahead and center it. The next thing I want to do is bring these images in so that we can assign them points. Oops, I edited out the part where I told you about the pack I'm using. Before I do that, since I'm going to be adding some shapes, I want to make sure that I've got a color scheme that I like here. And this is the aspect theme. That's what I want. If I go back to Insert and Shapes, now I can draw some boxes. And I want to go ahead and size these. I'm just going to put this on, so 0.9. And I'm going to fill this for now with white, and I want the outside to be this red. I'm actually going to make these just a little bit bigger. Not quite perfect squares. Now that I've got that, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it. So I'm just copy and pasting. There are going to be 5 of these, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm just going to roughly arrange them. Once I do that, I'm going to take them and I'm going to make sure that they're distributed horizontally, and then I'm going to distribute them vertically. And then I want to come over here and I want to align them to the middle. So now they're all in a nice clean line. And then I'm going to group them. So I'm just going to right click and I'm going to group. And that way I can then align that group to the center. I'm going to pull this out just a little bit more. So I want to use up as much of the space as I can. And once again, I'm just going to align that to the center. Next thing I want to do is I want to put in a table. So I'm going to insert a table, and this is just going to be one column, and it's going to be 5 rows. and I want to pick up the red that I'm using, and I'll just pull this up here and drag this out and drag this out. And then I'm just going to eyeball in between these squares and just move my column divisions. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come into this first square. I don't have to ungroup these. And I'll go up to Shape Format, and I'm going to do Shape Fill and Picture. I want my first shape to have the bear. Then I want the second shape to have an ornament. The third shape I'm going to fill with a stocking. The fourth one I'll fill with a package. And then the last one, I'll go ahead and fill with this candy cane. And then I'll just step back a bit, unclick, and take a look. And what I want to do on each of these now is remove the outline. Then when I do that, I'm just going to tap each of these images over so that they're basically central to this table below. Just the visual center. Again, it doesn't have to be exact. The reason I use the shape and put the images in is you notice I didn't have to resize them. Now, it's true that it didn't keep all of the dimensions exact, but when you look at this on the page, that's not critical for what we're creating here. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and write in this table. I want my text color to be white. I'm going to pick up the Fredoka 1 font again, and I want to put these in the center and in the middle. So the bear is going to be 1. The ornament equals 2. The stocking equals 3. The package equals 4. And the candy cane equals 5. And we'll make this actually present instead of package. Now, I don't want this to be bold, and I'll drop this down to 11. I want these to fit, so let's try 10.5. We're close. 10. There we go. And let's see if I can get this a little bit bigger if I just capitalize each word. And we'll go back to 10. We'll push the issue and see if I can go 10.5. I don't think I can go 11, but we'll see. Okay, so I'll undo that. It makes it a little larger. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create our very first arithmetic problem. And so to do that, I've got 3 bears, I've got an ornament, and a package. So if I come back here and I grab my bear and my ornament and my package and I just copy and paste, I can drag them down here, move the package over, the ornament over. Oops. I'm going to pull this out to the edge, copy paste. And I'm going to get these fairly close together. And paste. And my ornament. And my package. And then I'm going to copy and paste that package. And I'll bring it all the way so that it aligns on the right. And what I want to do here is I want to go up to Shape Format. I want to fill it with white. And then grab this red, and that's going to be my answer box. Then I'm just going to copy this equal sign, paste it in. You can't see it because it's white, but I'll change that to black. And then I'm going to bump it up to, try about 40. It's probably a little big. Go 32. And then I'm just going to place it in the center here. Now, I want to do a little housekeeping. I know a lot of people don't like to do this. I find that when you get lots of layers, it's kind of crazy. And so I like to mark my things. And in this case, since we're going to be doing some duplicating, there would be so many rectangles that if you want to edit this, it gets a little bit nuts. I'm only going to do this on the first one. It's up to you if you do them on the rest, but I'm just going to show you my process. Pictures. And if I'd named these earlier, when I made the copies down below, I'd have the name. Okay, now this I'm going to group is problem 1. And then all I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy and paste this. There's 3 of them, 4 of them, and 5 of them. And I want this to be fairly well spaced. Now that I've got that, I'm going to select all of these. And I'll distribute horizontally, vertically, and then I'll align them to the center. I think I just want to bump this whole group over. Like that. Now, I'm not going to worry about renaming these yet because we're going to go in here and we're going to change items, and as soon as we do, we'll have to rename them. So I'm going to bring this up here. I am going to put these elements back in order. And here is problem number 1. So I'll take that to the top and everything else is off. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to create these plus signs. And the easiest way I think of doing that is to create a table. And in this case what I want is, I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 columns in one row. That'll make sense in just a minute. So I'm going to insert a table, 1 row, and 9 columns. And there it is. Now I'm going to take this to the edge of the bear and to the edge of the package. And then I'm going to rearrange this so that this line, and what I'll do to make this easier to see is I'm going to no fill it, but I'm going to do all borders so you can see that. And then I'm going to bring this up and stretch it to the top of my graphic and the bottom of my graphic. And what I want to do is I want to drag these column markers so that they're in between my graphics here. Then I'm going to select this, and if I go back here, I'm going to end up wanting this for Doka 1, and let's go with a 10-point font, and that may give us a little bit more room to pull. And what's critical is really the space up here. So as long as we've got that, we're good to go. I'm going to hide this for just a minute. I'm feeling like the images are just a little bit too big, so I want to ungroup. Then I want to select just these pictures that are part of the arithmetic problem. I'm going to leave the equal sign and the answer key box the same. I'm going to group these, and then I just, holding down my shift key, want to make them a little bit smaller so that I've got some more space to work with. Now that I've done that, I'm going to ungroup. And I'll pull this over just a bit and then bring the package over to where it looks like it's about the same distance. Just tap these a little bit, and then I'm going to distribute these again. And I want to distribute these horizontally. So left to right, I want them to be equal. They're already the same up and down, so vertically. And now I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to select all of this and I'm going to group it. And just tap it over one to get it in the center. I'm going to turn my table back on, and now I'm going to have a little bit more room to work, which is good. And this takes a little setting up, but once you do it, you're good to go for the rest of your designs, even if you put different pictures in, which you will. Okay, so now that we have that, what I want to do is I want to type a plus sign in here. And again, this needs to be black. And I'm going to have to go bigger on this font. I want to make sure that things are centered. I also want to make sure that these are in the middle. And then I'm just going to copy this. And tab, and paste, and paste. And then, once I get the alignment that I like, I can shorten up this table. And make a final adjustment on this package. And now if I remove the borders, I've got my arithmetic problem. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to group my images together. That's all squared away. I'm going to call this problem number 1. And then I'm going to call this plus signs number 1 so that I know they go together. And I will put one below the other. And now I can turn on my other problems, put them in order again. I'll work with this one. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to swap out some images. So in this case, what I want to do is I'm going to go to Shape Format, Shape Fill, Picture. I'll put the stocking in. And I'll put the candy cane in here. I'm going to leave the bear, put another candy cane here. And repeat the stocking. Then I'm going to grab my plus signs number 1, copy. Oops, I want to get the whole table. Copy and paste. and drag it down. Call this plus signs number 2. And those actually look like they're in place. Sometimes you have to make adjustments depending on the images. Oops. Call this problem number 2 now. And put the plus signs below. Turn on problem number 3. And we'll swap some stuff out here. So for this bear, I'm going to put in the ornament. Go to Shape Format, Shape Fill, Picture. Grab the ornament. We'll leave the bear. Repeat the ornament. As you can see, using the shapes makes swapping out images a lot faster and easier than having to drag them in, resize them, copy, paste, move them around. I'm holding the grid that I've created because my shapes are just in that grid. So the package is fine. Once again, I'm going to come up to this table. Actually, just do plus signs 2, select it here, copy and paste, drag it down. That looks good. Number 3. And this is now problem number 3. Bring my plus sides down, turn on my next problem, and I'll swap this out for a candy cane. Shape Format, Shape Fill. If you make that mistake just clicking, don't worry about it. You can go back to Picture, and as soon as you put a picture in there, the fill goes away. This is going to be a present. My stocking. The ornament is fine, and this is going to be a bear. And grab this table, copy, paste. Line things up. Scoot this over just a bit. Call these plus signs 4. And problem number 4. Drag it down. And I'm going to select this package and just tap it over 1. And turn on problem number 5. And Shape Format. Grab my stocking. Put an ornament here. Oops, don't want text. I just want to fill it with package. Put my bear here. And then the stocking once more. Copy this table. Whoops, just want to get the table. There we go. Copy and paste. Drag it down and place it. I'm just going to pull this over a bit. Do the same thing here. Let's go back up to this table. I don't want to move the table, I just want to move the column dividers. Let's move this to the top so I can get to it. So I'm going to bring that to the front. Now I can pull these. Click away from that. Yeah, I like that better. This one looks good down here, so this is plus signs 5. And this goes below problem 5, and then I'm going to put my plus signs below problem 4 again. And then all that's left to do is to duplicate this page. And I'm going to copy this, just create a text box, and select all of this, make it black. This is now the answers. Put this here. And I'll take this number, copy, double click for a text box, make it black, and I'm going to bump this font up. It's a little big. Let's try 60. And I'm just going to roughly copy and paste and move these so that all I have to do is type the number and then I can align them. And then you're just adding these. So this is 3, the bears are 1, plus 2, that's 5, plus 4, so the top answer is 9. And once I've got that, put it in the center there. And that's all there is to creating a really fun arithmetic activity page for kids. I hope this inspires to do some creating of your own. This is Shawn Hansen, and I'll be back next week with another Make It Monday. Surprise! I'm back already. In fact, I haven't left because I have an announcement I want to share with you. Next Monday is not just Make It Monday, it's Cyber Make It Monday. And if you enjoyed today's training, you're going to love my Cyber Monday pre-launch of Let's Get Digital Design for Kids course. In this brand new over-the-shoulder video course, I'm going to walk you through how I create 15 popular activity pages for kids using PowerPoint and strategies like the one I showed you in this Make It Monday training. Then, I'll walk you through how to turn those pages into a finished digital and print activity book so you can get busy selling. The kids' activity book market is huge, and now is the perfect time to learn the secrets, tips, and tricks I use when I create my own kids' activity pages and books. I've also included some bonus training for you in the course. First, I'll share my methods for making those pesky PowerPoint hyperlinks stick for those of us working on Apple computers. Then, I'll talk about the dreaded lag issue many GoodNotes users are complaining about, and I'll share the easy ways you can design to prevent lag in your creations. So don't let Black Friday exhaust you too much. Get ready for my Cyber Make It Monday pre-launch of Let's Get Digital Design for Kids course. Keep an eye on your inbox for more details, and get ready for a very special Cyber Make It Monday.